It's not.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by the monkey dance? What do you mean by the monkey dance? What do you mean by that?
Hold on, Top G is back. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yo,
What's up, Top G?
I'm trying to.
did you just fucking
I'm
go
trying
for
to
a
get things
run,
to
bro?
work. Something's wrong with my internet. I don't know why.
Is there bad Wi-Fi over there?
Said broke
Brokey internet.
Brokey internet.
Can you hear me now, though? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And you said that he's countering, or he's being hypocritical and being contradictory to his previous statement that young men cause accidents. The majority of male accidents.
Georgiana.
Is that your maid?
No, it's a masseuse. Georgiana, can you bring my sunglasses, please? I don't know where they are.
Yo.
Right. She's like, why is he talking to me like that? He didn't talk to me like that off camera, bro. What the fuck?
So what were we talking about?
That's bad. Yeah.
So we got some Andrew Tate theatrics in this motherfucker.
Yo, be real. When the camera comes off,
He
you're probably like,
knows it's theatrical. He's got that little smile going on.
None of this shit.
I'm gonna give you a good tip today. I'm sorry.
Theatrical with that shit.
Dude, that internet lag, that's what can set this skit up for sure.
Wait, who that? Wait, who that?
Yeah, we're down the right. We're down the right.
Yeah, we gotta. Oh no!
Oh my God, who is that?
Oh no, never mind.
X, cover your eyes, bro.
I'm telling you, girls have amazing abilities. The power of boobies is just something that is world renowned.
Oh my gosh.
As much as xQc doesn't like Andrew Tate, just a glimpse of a female is enough. Even if it's just for a moment, enough to completely derail us all. Yes, just the back of her. He didn't even need to see both sides. The back and some of the side.
It's not organized. I had the massage planned, but Adin messaged me.
The power.
So obviously she has to do it while I work. That's how it goes.
I'm telling you guys. You guys know. You already know. I don't have to tell you guys that.
She says, I'm desperate to do OnlyFans. I say, you don't need to. We're rich. She goes, no, I really, really want to. I say, okay, the money's mine then.
We can disintegrate. We can dismantle these statements into one at a, like small rocks. We could approach them one at a time, right? Because there's a lot that, respectfully, okay. I think there's a lot of parts of that are garbage, right? But I don't want to say something at the whole rock, and we have to do small rock pebble at a time.
Okay,
you know,
get on with it.
right? So also, this motherfucker can laugh over here. You see it next to me, Los Polos. He's laughing, but he said you were trolling, so you were joking 100%. He's holding his tongue right now because he's gonna be right. But he said you were wrong 100% about this, and so wrong that you were joking. So I don't know why he's holding his tongue right now.
What did I do?
It's a very
particular scenario, right? You have to understand that the scenario in which I would take 100% is a very, very particular one. In general, when I had my business, and I know you're saying that they only made money for me. They made money for themselves. I turned girls. I would actually sit here and say, as the biggest misogynist on this panel, I've turned more girls into multimillionaires than any of you. I've made girls multi-millionaires. This is 10 years ago at the beginning of all this shit, before OnlyFans and webcamming was new. I took girls from Starbucks and made them millions and millions and millions of dollars and paid them fairly, never missed a single paycheck.
Okay.
I'm as feminist as you can get. Now, yeah, I got
like I said, I don't. Okay, no disrespect once again. Okay, I just feel like this is like the type of argument that goes like, I have 3 friends that are black when making certain comments or whatever. So I don't. Unfortunately, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
I don't get mad at you.
Okay. Well, respectfully, I think that is genuinely the same vibe, energy comment, right? Oh, I can't be against women because I helped 4 or 5 of them. Oh, no, I'm not against women because I made a couple of them millionaire or whatever the fuck, right?
It's not about being against women. I'm saying that the whole was a net positive for both me and the females. So you misunderstood my point. You think I'm making a different point, and that's why you've come to that conclusion. The point I'm making is that everybody who worked for me won. The only person who lost was the guy sending his money away online. That's fine. But for everyone who was associated with me, it wasn't exploitative because you made it sound like I only did it for me. No, the women who worked for me also made millions of dollars. Everybody who was associated with me won. Everyone won. All of them.
Yeah, for business activities or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think I wasn't talking about that at all. All I meant was okay. Let's get this tangent wrong.
Train derailed.
Let's just go back to the main argument you said. So I have more of a stake. So you think that in a relationship, you have a certain stake on your partner's income based on what that income comes from.
Well, it depends. Yeah, depending on how they make it, absolutely. I think that in a relationship with a woman, if the man is with that woman, The main reason he knows he's with her is the fact that she is sexually exclusive to him. If you're with a woman and she's fucking everyone, are you even with her? No. How do you know she's even yours? Because she only sleeps with you, right? Well, if all of her intimate parts are now for everybody and they're purchasable, then I think you have a stake in said parts because those parts belong to you. She gives them to you when she decides to be human.
So there's a price that you're taxing your loss of privacy.
That's a way you could put it. I mean, personally, if my woman were to come to me and say she wanted to do OnlyFans, I'd just say no because I'm not.
Okay.
That's the correct
Then,
response.
Example.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, respectfully, let's try to upscale that discussion and see what kind of
This is the
state would you
beginning of the video
need
game
for your
reference.
girl to suck another guy's dick.
I would never tolerate that on any level. So that's too far. But
there's a price for the pictures and the loss of intimacy.
Correct.
For me, it's a black and white thing.
Chat, for $1
It's
million,
scalable. Once you lose a certain amount, you can lose more of it.
would you let your
right?
girl suck a dick?
I understand what you're
Yes
saying,
or no?
but to me, it's
Yeah.
not black. Because pixelated pictures on the internet are very different than sucking an actual dick. So I would never let my girls be prostitutes. None of the girls who ever worked for me ever prostituted. I've never associated with a prostitute. I don't associate with porn stars, none of that kind of shit. But I had very wholesome girls with pictures of their titties on the internet 10 years ago who made themselves millionaires, yes. And now they are happily married with somebody or whatever. Or some of them are still with me. It doesn't matter. But I was never like getting girls to prostitute or hardcore pimping along that line. I use the word pimp because I had a lot of women who worked for me and they were all beautiful and it sounds cool. But truthfully, I don't even really see myself in that regard. I think I'm less of a pimp than most corporations. The girls who work for me 50%. You don't get 50% of the cash register when you work in McDonald's.
Okay, they can also people can be pimps and companies can be pimps to a certain level, right? Which has anything to do with you being a certain level of a pimp. I think I don't think if your girl is doing something, an activity of her own will, I feel like taxing her that's being a pimp, like quite literally. You are pimping at the wazoo.
Yeah, because you don't understand,
I understand,
what it means like to be in an exclusive
maybe you've never had the kind of relationships I've had with my women, but any woman I'm with decides to, by her own free will, submit to me because she sees me as her intellectual superior. She sees me as her life superior. She looks up to me and she respects me, and she sees me as and for that reason, if she were to come along and say do OnlyFans and I said no, she wouldn't do it. But if she insisted on doing it, I would sit here and say, look, I'm unhappy with you doing this, making a bunch of money off of parts which are supposed to be intimate only for me. If this is going to happen, I need to have some kind of compensation for my unhappiness. Yes. And she would understand and she would pay me. But this is not a scenario I need to be involved in. This is just a hypothetical, right? But all the girls who worked for me, they were not romantically involved. They were girls who decided to make a bunch of money and they came to the best of the business, which was me.
So you would be okay with then paying them for their discomfort in other areas then? That'd be something that you're open to?
Sure. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, I think that all men do naturally anyway, right? Let's. I understand your point you're making, so let's extrapolate on it. You're saying that if I do something that they're unhappy with, I should give them money. Well, the point is, I think that all high value men do that naturally anyway. If you take a billionaire on a boat, naturally,
it's kind of indirect of a term. It naturally is more indirect and more like intended, right? Okay. Since for you it's transactional and intentional, then in this example you have to use the same framework for that example. Same framework has to be agreed upon. So let's say I don't want to be too gross right now. You're with a goal and you want to do something. You're okay with the thing of saying, okay, well, I mean, I kind of want to do that. I'll give you 10K.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think it works exactly that way, but I think that all men, especially high-value men, are already in a transactional relationship to some regard, and that's not a bad thing. That's natural human nature. And the point I'm trying to make is that if you're a truly high-status male, if you're a billionaire with a yacht and you have 10 girls on that boat, the woman who's in love with you is going to let you fuck 9 other women in front of her because she gets to be on a billionaire's yacht. She gets to go to private islands. She gets to not have to work. She gets to run around on jet skis and take Instagram pictures. So to some degree, are you not paying her for her compliance? To some degree, are you not rewarding her for her being in a situation that she's not completely happy with? That is natural human nature, and all high status males do it.
Okay, as much as
you see some
I would agree with you.
Bro, that would cut him off, bro.
That would be a part of something, right? Part of some sort of fulfillment, right?
Arnold.
I would like my partner to be fulfilled in all the ways that I like to be fulfilled in a relationship. If a girl's only with me because she's fulfilled in this money way, but she's lacking on a bunch of other shit, what's the point?
So let's swap the hypothetical. Let's say you're in love with a woman, she comes to you and she decides she wants to do OnlyFans. What do you say?
Okay, so I've had a lot of things about OnlyFans before. A lot.
Bro, answer the question.
I personally, yes or no?
Just because I think it's kind of annoying. I wouldn't go into it knowing she's doing it.
So
right?
you would,
This is where I
He didn't
so
even
if your girl
understand
came
the
to you and
question.
said, now
He
your
didn't
girl's not
understand it.
already on OnlyFans. You're with a girl and she
Okay.
sees
Here we
OnlyFans
go.
online. She decides she wants to start. She comes to you and says, I want to become an OnlyFans chick. You're going to say, yeah, go for it. Don't give me a penny. Go for it. Get rich. Show your titties. That's going to be your answer?
No, I just say, this is kind of annoying. It's an annoying thing. I don't fully agree with it, right?
Okay.
So what's annoying?
So if
Yes
you
or
can-
no?
Yeah, the
It's
fact
cool.
that she wants to do it, or the
I
fact
don't like
that
it.
this question is being posted in. What is
this
annoying?
is the point. So I think it's you're and I understand this is really interesting what Train said earlier about internet language, because when you make a point, you have to be very, very careful with what you say. It's almost like politicians speak. But you're saying it's annoying. I wouldn't like it. Well, I'd say you're not allowed. That's what I'd say. I'd say you're not allowed to be on OnlyFans if you're my girl.
Okay.
And if you are
Okay.
here.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't like it, and if it escalates to a point,
Bro,
I
get to the
guess I would break
question.
up. But that's not like
Yeah.
I don't think that's the main point though. What is that? What
said
does
yes
that
or
prove? I
no.
think it's just
I can't stand
It's
people who
lame.
can't answer
Generally lame.
questions.
Yeah.
All right. So the point
Can't
I'm making
stand
here
it.
is that it's a situation that most men don't want to find themselves in. They're completely in love with the chick and she decides to do OnlyFans. We're in a hypothetical situation. Saying I'd break up with the chick is a boring answer. So assuming you have to stay with the chick, that's the parameters of the question to make the question interesting to answer. My answer is that I need to be paid for her to be doing OnlyFans. That's the answer in the
Fair
hypothetical
enough.
situation. Your answer in the hypothetical situation is it's kind
Okay.
of annoying. I don't know.
There are parameters to this. There's a bunch of parameters
XQC
around
is
that.
very feminine.
It would be like,
No, he's
I
not
hope she's not
feminine.
doing it
He's
because
beta.
of lack of fulfillment
Beta.
in certain ways
He's beta.
in our relationship, because that's a fucking problem. I wouldn't want my partner to go to places because she's craving a part of something she isn't getting in our relationship. As long as something takes away from a relationship, right?
Okay.
And the framework remains the same, then I guess it's kind of chilling. But that's kind of how it comes to OnlyFans, because people do it for a lot of reasons and a lot of other ones. So it's kind of.
Let me.
So he's okay with his girl
Do you mind me
selling
asking
her
a question?
parts.
How old are you?
26.
Okay. Let me blow your mind, young man. Women love.
Oh, he just little bro.
Women love men they
Nice.
respect. And let me tell you this, and this is natural, this is evolutionary, it's biological. This is why women have certain even basic things like height, right? They're designed to be attracted to it evolutionarily because they respect larger men because they're more likely to be better at fighting, they're better warriors. Women fall in love with men they respect. Not even men they like that much, it's men they respect. Men they like are their friends. Men they respect are the ones they fuck. And let me tell you something. If a girl were to come to me and say, I am intent on doing OnlyFans, and I would say, I'm uncomfortable with you doing that, I don't want you doing it. She says, Andrew, I love you, but I'm going to do OnlyFans no matter what. I would have to put together parameters and a framework in which she still respects me as a man, or we're over. It's not even about the money. It's about the fact that you are my woman. I love you, you love me, and you're going to show me enough respect as a man that if you're going to get naked on the internet, you're going to at least reward me in some way. There's not going to be all these men paying you money and you making a bunch of money on the fucking side sitting in my house without me getting shit, because that is disrespectful. And I would not allow her to disrespect me, not just because of my ego, but because of her own innate ability to not be attracted to somebody that she doesn't respect. If you were to come along and play things your way, if a chick were to come to you and say, I want to do OnlyFans, you would say, well, I don't like it. It's kind of annoying, and she started doing it, she would fucking leave. The girl is more likely to stay with me taking all her money than she is stay with you keeping all her money. And that may not make sense to you, but one day you will understand.
Okay. I'm gonna fire back at you and just say that what.
Let me weigh in on that real fast. It was kind of a sad situation because I don't watch Twitch as much as I used to, but there was a cute little Twitch couple known as Manny and Fandy. What was it though? The one Manny?
The one Manny.
The one Manny. He still streams. He's a cool streamer. Sometimes he does this thing with the avatar where he's a dog.
Sometimes?
Sometimes.
He still does it all the
That's
time.
pretty much all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it's rare that
Never really changed.
Yeah, it's rare that he actually shows himself.
Yeah.
But long story short, Manny, I believe, is either from Ireland or Scotland. Fandy, who you can find a lot of her on the internet, let's just say that. At the time, you couldn't. She was just a streamer. He was bigger than her, more popular than her, blah, 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 blah. They got together. He moves all the way across the world to come live with Fandy. I believe they even ended up having a kid together. Somebody can fact check that in the comments. But they got together. Pretty sure they got married. She starts OnlyFans, and that marriage, that relationship didn't last long at all.
Yeah.
And one of the things I told Kiyomi, right, is that I could see that she didn't respect him by the interaction that they would have. Because once he came to America, he would like not stream as a dog, like they would stream kind of like
they did
some
IRL
couple
streams,
stuff,
they
yeah,
did,
like cooking streams.
They did some other stuff,
exactly,
but he would stream himself.
Yeah.
It was him, like his actual person.
Yeah, and he was a smaller. What do they call them? Redheads.
Yeah.
What do they call redheads? Isn't there a word for them?
Ginger.
Yeah, he was a smaller frame ginger guy, and probably one of the nicest streamers that I've seen. Like if I met him, I'm sure he would just be a very nice guy. But the problem I personally found with him was I found him to be a little bit adorable, and that's not how you wrangle in a chick, especially one that is like Fandy. And when I saw Fandy before, like he even came to live with her, I told Kiyomi, I could see a little thottery in this girl. I see a little thottery. And sure enough, he wasn't able to have the frame, the masculinity, the poise that it takes to take a girl who's teetering on the thought side and bring her into the wife side. It just didn't work. And she started hanging out with Pink Sparkles and some of these other girls, and they have the OnlyFans, and they're making a lot of money. And her career, her streaming, her notoriety took a front seat over him almost immediately. They didn't even make it a year.
Yeah.
And it was just really sad because that guy's a really nice guy. But she took the whole route, the thottery route, the I'm not going to listen to my man route over him because he couldn't have the masculinity that it takes to actually gain respect. And masculinity and respect isn't just something you have over a female. It's something that you command over other men as well.
Yeah.
When other men respect you and other females respect you, then your woman will also respect you. But if you can't get any of that from anyone, no one's going to respect you. And that's what happened to him. And you've seen this happen time and time again. Admin Gold with Pink Sparkles. I mean, let's be honest. Kudos to him. If you've seen Pink Sparkles, holy shit, you did good, Asmund Gold. You know, I bro fist you right now. But I called it. I said he's not going to be able to keep her.
Yeah.
I said, there's no way geeky ass Asmund Gold was going to be able to keep thotty ass almost a 10 Pink Sparkles. It wasn't going to happen. And Pink Sparkles, if you happen to see this, you are kind of thotty, so I can't say, I'm sorry, I can't take that back. But you are a nice looking girl. And it takes a certain kind of man to be able to keep a nice looking girl. Because the moment your girl hits the internet, there's lots of people going to be trying to pull at her. Her DMs, her inboxes, her Twitch chat, all that. And if you're not a real man, she'll sense that, you know, innately. Like if she's not a real woman or if she's not wife material as a man, you automatically know that. He knew Pink Sparkle wasn't some fucking wife material, but she's fucking hot. And that's all that really mattered to him. And then he probably got some feelings and they started dating and all that. But he didn't change himself enough to be able to keep a girl like that.
And on the other hand as well, like she didn't change either.
Well, he would have had to have her change.
Yeah.
He would have had to have been a man
It needed to
enough.
go both ways, but neither of them were interested in it, and neither of them were even potentially aware of it.
I would say maybe not that he was not interested in it, but he doesn't know how. A lot of men who are soft and beta don't know how to increase their masculinity, you know, in a way that's going to be appealing and attractive, you know. So he's still the same geeky ass Asmund Gold now as he was then and as he was before.
And he probably will be for the rest of his life.
Probably will be.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to find a more homely chick if he wants to have a long-term relationship, because some girl putting her ass and titties out on the internet is not going to stay with him because he doesn't know how to manage that situation. And as a man, you have to manage all your situations from the moment you wake up, what you're going to eat for breakfast, to what time you're going to go to bed, and everything in between that, including your relationship. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But since we were talking about OnlyFans and how that can wreck a relationship, if the man doesn't have the right approach.
Yeah.
xQc, for instance, does not have the right approach.
No, he doesn't. And like, I guess the easiest way to kind of describe the whole situation is that a relationship should always take the precedent over social.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? Like it's easy. Like the two of us, we will always put our relationship first. And for me as well, personally, like not only have I never been interested in something like OnlyFans, because to me that is the strangest thing, because I am in a long-term relationship with Connecticut, why? What purpose does it serve? What positive outcome is there? Like, there are so many other ways to make money.
Exactly.
I don't need to be doing OnlyFans. I have no desire to be doing OnlyFans. Our relationship is more important than what social needs require, than what society wants or needs. It doesn't matter. What our relationship requires is more important. Period. End story. That's it.
Yeah.
And the fact that xQc cannot understand that he doesn't know where to draw the lines, is so indicative of his entire generation not being strong enough, not being aware enough, male and female alike. That's why so many Twitch streamers around his age now do have OnlyFans, do have Patreons that are really risque, whether or not they're in a relationship.
One of the things that's starting to happen that relationships, like long-term relationships, are becoming more rare.
Very much so.
Like, men aren't sure how to get into long-term relationships with women, and women aren't sure that they even need a long-term relationship with a man.
Yeah.
And it's like destroying the fabric of Western society.
Yeah.
It's a problem I don't have to fucking deal with, but I do have to watch it, and it bothers me seeing some of you guys fucking fall apart and seeing these girls not want to listen to you. And why should they listen to you if you don't know how to have the right frame, how to go through life and be a leader, you know? And some people look at it as misogynistic, but men have carried the weight of the world since its inception. Well, since they arrived on the planet. You know? There were some dinosaurs and shit. I hear we're running shit before we showed up. But when men showed up, they had to protect, they had to defend, you know? And I don't want to sound like I don't appreciate women, but women are able to conduct themselves in society, Western society, the way that they do without regard for men, because men put themselves out of business. And by what I mean by that is that in Western society, men have made it so safe that on a day-to-day basis, a woman doesn't have to worry about her safety or worry about her protection. You know, you can walk to the store 5 miles there and back with an armful of groceries and not have to worry if somebody's going to mug you.
Yeah.
But
whereas, for instance, like in the Middle East, if you're a female and you're by yourself, you run the risk of being raped and then being punished for getting raped because you are the one who was reckless enough, stupid enough, clueless enough to be out without a male escort.
And India has a little bit of that problem.
Yeah, like the Middle East in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's places out there, a lot of places outside of Western society, where men are still regarded for the hard work that they do. And I'm not saying that there should be danger so strong that a girl can't walk to the store and back. But as a man, you remember where you came from, what you do. And it's a little insulting for females not to give the appreciation and respect that they should be given. Because the reason they are able to do that is because behind the scenes, just like when you use your computer or when you turn on your TV, you just hit a button and that shit works, right? No, that's not how it works at all. First off, there's a whole network of electricity that needs to make it to your home. Second off, there's computer chips and literally over 1 million transistors that have to all fire up for you to see the image. But before you see the image, there has to be all the pixels that shade the right colors in fractions and fractions of milliseconds so that you see it without lag or delay and so they'll look crystal fucking clear. That's what it's like for a female in modern day society. They just hit the button and they go through life. But they're unaware of all those things that make it so that they can do so safely and without error. And that's because there's men fighting wars right now, keeping the border safe. That's because if someone tries to break in your house or something like that, there's a number you can dial where men are going to show up to try to protect you. Also, there's your friend group. If you work at a store or something like that and somebody tries to attack you and you're female, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be guys who will come help you, maybe even customers. Yeah. You know? But this isn't the thing that like a lot of these thotty girls think about. They just think about, oh, my next OnlyFans paycheck, use men for their money because men are very susceptible to a pretty face and a nice body. You saw that with xQc when Andrew Tate's girl showed up for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to give him sunglasses. Like, oh, who's that? Who's that? A huge ass grin on his face. He forgot who he was talking to for a moment. He forgot how much he hated Andrew.
Exactly.
It was just the sheer joy on his face at seeing a female.
And to some degree, that's literally how all men work, to some degree. And so men are very susceptible to boobies, yes.
You guys are like squirrels.
Exactly. So I don't want to go off on too long of a rant or a discussion about that, but I just thought I'd hit that nail on the head with a hammer to bring about the discussion of how OnlyFans actually will wreck a relationship, just like it did with Manny and Vandy. Yeah. And a lot of other relationships out there if you don't actually control your relationship as a man. You got to be the leader.
Whatever my relationship is lacking, whatever amount of respect that I'm losing, and whatever amount of privacy that I'm losing, you can't put a price on that. You can't revert that with money. You just can't do it.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Because he's okay with losing all of that.
What fulfills me is that my partner is fulfilled, and we're both on that equal mindset, right? And you can't exchange that with money in a transactional way. You just can't. It doesn't matter the amounts.
He is right about that.
It doesn't make me fulfilled. So if the partner
but he's not answering the
question. Whatever they're doing, that they're lacking, and they're gonna reverting it somehow. So I guess we can find some sort of compromise, right? But it wouldn't be about money or be transactional money wise. It just wouldn't.
Brother, life is transactional, my friend. And to sit here and pretend that because things are transactional means there's no emotions involved isn't true. Life is transactional. If I'm completely head over heels in love with a woman and I love her with all my heart and I'm ready to take a bullet for her, it's still a transactional relationship. She still provides things and I still provide things that satisfy both of us. You do not sit here and stream for free. Life is transactional. So to sit here and pretend that things shouldn't be transactional is asinine. That's not the way the world works. Every single thing in the world is transactional. Even if I give money to charity, even if Train gives this lady who's massaging me $100,000, he's doing that, one, for clout, two, because he gets to feel good about himself. He isn't. It's not pure charity. He gets to win too.
Actually, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait. No, I gotta say something. It's not for clout. If you look me up, I'm actually hated and everything's justified that I do, but it is for the feel good. I get a high from it. The same high I get from gambling, I get from giving. My dick gets hard. So that's transactional, but it is not for clout. I don't give a fuck about it. Just trust me. Do a little research. It is not the clout part, but it is the high part from feeling good. Continue.
Bro, it's the same with me. There's Romania has an orphanage problem. A lot of orphans. Every single Christmas, I go down to the orphanage with the Rolls Royce, give $100,000, whatever. Am I the fucking nicest man in the world? Well, yeah, but also I feel good. I feel good for doing it, right? So life is transactional. So to sit here and say things shouldn't be transactional is asinine. It's not a right paradigm. You must view the world in a transactional sense. The world is transactional.
Yeah, but you're being a little bit obtuse still. You are deliberately obtuse.
That brings me to a quick thing I was mentioning to you the other day about relationships being transactional. One of my former best friend growing up, I remember one time after school, I looked at him, I said, "You know why we're best friends?" And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because we get something out of it. We both give each other something." And he was like, I said, "Most people don't like to think about it or say it that way, but that's why you're friends with someone, is because they give you something and you give them something." Yeah. And it's not selfishness, it's how it should work. How many of you would actually hang around somebody and then you'd be like, they don't do anything for me? Like they don't entertain you, they don't keep you company, they're not someone you can talk to, like they don't do anything for you. A best friend, as we would say, a friend will help you move. A best friend will help you move a body. That was our thing, right? Yeah. We lived a very, very exciting life. So what I want to drive home is that any kind of relationship that you have, even with a parent, you guys give each other something. And it's not just love. There's a lot of things that go into that, They can't just love you. They also have to treat you in a way that you can see that they like you and care for you, Loving you is just putting a roof over your head, right? Maybe. But there's more to it to show the love. There's more to it to show the friendship. There's more to it to show the relationship. So yeah, you give something to your girl, she gives back. And it's not just like one thing. It's a lot of things, Yeah. You feel safe around me. There's protection, there's love, there's care, admiration, all that good stuff. I feel adored, I feel great. You know, you cook, you clean, you'll do all sorts of things to make my day-to-day much easier. You do things that a modern female generally falls in their face. A lot of them, I don't even know if they could use a goddamn toaster, let alone cook a full meal. So there's a lot of things that go into what you give each other. But if you didn't give each other anything, there wouldn't be a relationship. So it's okay to understand that, yeah, it's a transactional thing. But I would say it's more of a giving and take thing. Like you receive something in order for there to be a good relationship.
xQc is objecting to it because he only sees the way he sees the word transactional is that it is strictly indicating something financial.
Yeah.
But that's not the truth of it. Like to say that it is transactional, it just indicates trade. And it can be a trade of goods. It can be a trade of emotions, of feelings, of support, and yes, money. But it indicates a trade. Except the only thing he sees it as is a trade of finances.
Yeah.
And so that is his issue with this.
Because as you guys will see, he has some problems with commitment and protection and putting himself out there for someone.
Yeah.
But that might even be for another video. Damn. All right.
About what the nature of how we use transactional as a term. You're just saying, oh, it's all transaction. Yeah, of course. Then everything in life, if it goes one way, it comes back another way. That's transactional. So everything is. But that's not how we use the word transactional. Transactional is more of not an indirect. It's more of a direct thing. I'm doing this for that, right? That's how we normally use transactional. The way you're saying is just, oh, it's an exchange of brain chemicals. I'm doing this and I get this brain reward, right? As an exchange. That's kind of that is obtuse.
Fine. Let me change the way I ask you the question, right?
Okay.
Because what I'm actually, and once again, you're only 26. You are smart. I can see you're smart, but you're 26. So if I were in your position and I had disagreed with everything that Andrew Tate had said, and Andrew Tate was going to come on a stream, first I'd have a list of everything he said I disagree with. You don't even have a list, so you haven't been very professional about your approach in this. You don't even know most of the things I've said. You're just saying this about. It's all very general. So in future, please
say that again. Sorry about that. I was fucking distracted by bullshit.
And fine. In future, make a list of all my points you disagree with, so we can be more systematic in our approach.
Oh, but the problem is that you're a Gish Galloper. You're a professional at it. You're really good at doing it. Just galloping it.
No.
You do dang, 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 and then
you're the one who can't answer a question. You're the one who's just rattling shit off. You're the one who's
let me tell you what you're doing.
You're the one who's
so
repeating noises.
So you're aware. Yeah. If I walk into
literally
NASA
noises
and I say that going to space is too expensive and too dangerous, and they say, well, yeah, I agree with you. And I say, okay, this is bullshit. And they go, well, what's the alternative? And I cannot present an alternative. That does not make me a fucking physicist. That does not make me an astronaut. That makes me a jackass. So if you cannot propose a better alternative, then you have no point to make. And this is the point I'm making with you. The parameters of the question.
Real fast. One of the things I said like early in the year or maybe even last year that really bothers me is when people shoot down ideas without offering any suggestions.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's actually not even something that you said earlier this year. This is something that you introduced to me early on in our relationship.
Yeah.
It's like, if I can't come up with a suggestion to replace something that you have said that I don't like, then don't say anything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's expanding on the premise of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yeah.
If you don't have something to suggest, don't shoot down an idea.
Yeah.
Have something to suggest.
Exactly.
Because otherwise you look like a dumbass. You look like a jackass, like Andrew just said.
That's a fact,
right? Like it's rude. It's rude and it's inconsiderate.
That's true, and it doesn't really help, you know.
No.
I guess let me drop some silver gold nuggets for you guys. In life, the best thing there's a lot of best things I've learned, but one of the best things I've learned is that it is better to do something and not do it well, or take a route or an option that may not be optimal. It's better to do that than to do nothing. Let that sink in, because if there's one thing that you take away from this stream or this podcast, is that I'm trying to arm you guys to make decisions. And sometimes they may not be the best decision for you, but it is better than what you are going to do or not going to do. And that's what life is about, is making the best out of whatever situation that you personally have. That's how you rise to the top, because doing nothing gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
In fact, doing nothing gets you below nowhere. It makes you fall down. You're either climbing or you're falling. You're rarely just hanging in there. So when it comes to that kind of thing, if someone says something and you personally don't have a better idea, you can say, I'm not sure about that, to let them know, I'm not sure about that. But don't just like nuke the idea. Don't nuke the idea unless you have a better idea. Because at the end of the day, something has to be done about whatever the situation is. And either it will be a great decision or it will be an okay decision, but there cannot be no decision.
Or you're in love with a woman who decides to do OnlyFans, you can't break up with her. And I have also added another parameter. You want to retain the respect and the authority in the relationship. You think that taking money in said situation is completely unreasonable and unfair. Fine. What is an alternative which is superior? And if you cannot name one, then it is the best of a bad choice. It may be an unfortunate situation, but it's the best move in a bad chess position, and you must still make the best move. If you have a better move to make, I'm open to hear it. But if I'm in love with a woman, and I'm not going to break up with her, and she comes with me, and she insists on doing OnlyFans, my answer to retain my control and my respect in my relationship is for her to pay me. That is my answer. If you have a better one, my ears are open.
Okay, like I said, whenever somebody does OnlyFans, it's because there's what does that come from? Like, it can be a lot of things of why they would do it. Only money or some sort of fulfillment or whatever, right?
Okay.
Some sort of fulfillment.
See, here's the point that X is missing, right? He is fine with his girl doing OnlyFans because she has her reason for wanting to do it. No, it doesn't matter where it is coming from. Your relationship is more important than anything else.
Comes first.
Anything else. He does not understand that. That is so stupid.
And that's a huge, huge, huge problem.
Yeah.
Right? If they're doing it because they're lacking something in the relationship, they're taking something away from the relationship, yeah, that's a fucking problem. I guess break up. If I'm that uncomfortable, I'm not going to put a price on that. I'm not going to be fulfilled in something and spend my entire life with somebody and be committed. There's no price you're going to pay me to be deluded that we're at the same level of commitment. Break up. End of story. No alternative. One alternative, break up. If you're that uncomfortable, I will not put a dollar amount on that. I will fucking break up and move on. And the fact that you can put a price on your lack of commitment or whatever you think you're lying about, because if they make it OnlyFans,
it's not about the money. It's the principle, chat, right?
What he said was a hypothetical. He said in a real normal world, it's like, no, we can't, no OnlyFans, we break up. It is what it is. What he's saying, there's no breakup in this scenario. No breakup. What is the alternative of the transaction?
No, I said break up. That's alternative. You fucking break up.
X also hypothetical though. Also, X, he's saying it's not about the money. It's the principle behind it.
His hypothetical is no, like in a situation where you guys aren't breaking up and it's just you need some. What are you gonna do instead?
I have hundreds of millions.
I said broke up.
Okay, cool. Okay, well the point is I have hundreds of millions of dollars, and if my girlfriend did OnlyFans and made $2, she would pay me my $1. And that's because it's principle. It's not
principle, yeah.
Okay.
Bro.
Yeah. Still fair enough.
Principle is something that people in general,
in my opinion, the nature of that behavior of putting a dollar amount because of some lack of whatever the fuck
about the
is
fucking
stupid.
Money.
It's an alarming logical conclusion. It's just bad.
What else about me do you find alarming?
I'm saying it's alarming.
A little smirk on his face.
What else about my views or things you've heard me say or my attitudes or my life approach?
Oh, my girl can't go out. That's fucking alarming as shit.
Okay. My girl can't go out?
Yeah.
Okay, let's discuss this. All right, cool. So I take my girlfriends out all the time, right?
Cool.
But if my girl were to say I want to go out with 7 other girls to the club, in my personal experience, I'd be unhappy for her to do that because I've been the man in the club that those 7 girls turn up to and end up on his table, and I know what happens. I've lived a very, very long life. I know how that ends. Now, I think that, and I've discussed this already before. I think I discussed this yesterday with Dave Portnoy, which he got upset about. I discussed that if I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to have responsibility over a woman, which I want to have because it's my masculine imperative, I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man and I take the best care of her. I might I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens in clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you. And by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me insecure. It doesn't make me weak. She can always say, I'm going to go anyway. And that's fine. And then we can break up. But in my scenario, any woman I'm serious about is going to obey me. And I'm not going to come along with some crazy, maybe people will call it crazy. I'm not going to make her do anything wrong. She ain't going to take drugs. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to eat right. She's going to be learning shit. And she ain't going to be in the club sniffing and drinking. Now, if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. No problem. But I get plenty of girls who sign up to that all day long without problems. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure, I'll send my girl to the club. Send her to my table, G. Send her to my table. No problem. Send her.
Okay.
Completely agree.
Security when she's sucking dick.
Completely agree.
Okay, then according to your mindset and how you see things then, and your high levels of security apparently, right? If your girl was to go to the club, right, and I was at the club, you're scared that I will bring your girl home.
I don't live in fear. It's not about scared because I don't live in fear.
Well, I mean, that's fear.
No, it's not fear. What it is.
Okay, what is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain.
Why risk what is
I'm a terrorist.
Guys coming over.
Or put her in a situation where she has to deal with something.
By fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear. You are fearful.
That's an interesting viewpoint, and I know you think that that's...
So here's the thing about that, right? Just because you avoid something doesn't mean you're afraid of something. It's just being smart. Like, why wouldn't you put yourself in a situation that deals with something? Like you were saying, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you lock the doors to your home, are you afraid someone's going to break in that night? No. Yeah. But you just lock it so that no one can just walk the fuck into your house. It doesn't mean you're afraid, you know? Maybe you have 25 guns upstairs and maybe a small party you hope somebody does so you can be an action hero. But but you still lock the doors because it's sensible. You know, you don't want your girl to go to the club and have to tell people, oh, I'm taken, or deal with somebody who's been drinking too much and now she has to, you know, push somebody off or, you know, smack somebody or anything to happen. And it doesn't even have to be a dude bothering her. Chicks get rowdy at the club too. You don't want your girl having to get in some fight with some ratchet ass chick who just had too much to drink and turning up with her homegirls.
Yeah.
No.
There's no reason to risk what is precious.
Yeah.
And that's not something that xQc understands.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're afraid. If you put a seatbelt on when you're driving, are you afraid you were about to die that day? No. You're just taking a little precaution. Exactly. Wow. All right. That was cool.
Relevant. You've made a good point, but I'm about to dissect it and show you.
Go ahead.
I'm a territorial individual. And I think that being a man, one of the best things about being a man is being territorial, being able to say, that is mine. That's the whole point of it. So let's use an analogy. And please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in an analogy because I'm about to compare a woman to a car. Do not say, you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ. This is just an analogy. If I go outside, right? Or let's say I have a Lamborghini. I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the case. Even if I know the locks on my car, it has bulletproof glass, it's locked, you can't break into it. Will I park my Lambo in an area where people are going to try and steal it?
That's a good analogy,
I won't, because that is irresponsible. So the fact is, I don't care if men try and come up to my chick because no one can steal my chick because I am me. The fact is, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a scenario where people will attempt it. If I walk out to the car park and someone's trying to break into my car, even if the locks to my car are secure, I will still decimate said individual for attempting to steal my property. That's what it's about. It's about territorialism. It's not about being fearful the girl's going to run off with someone else. There's nowhere to go from me but down. It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's irresponsible for me to put her in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, the argument would be good. If I were you, I'm going to have the argument. I could rationalize the argument you just did. If most of the girls that I dated or that I was with had the IQ of somebody who cannot move, think, or do anything, and is just stuck on the side of the fucking car.
Don't take this analogy literally. What does this retard do? And yes, I say retard. I do not say that word lightly.
Park your fucking girl on the curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. So it's not a fucking. It's not the danger of other guys doing shit, right? Because they can still think. And the loss of the potential that one guy out of a million will do some crazy shit and is going to forcibly bring her home, right? Is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by going to the club in the first place.
That's interesting, but you also have to understand, because we are different individuals living very different lives, and I'm not going to sit here and comment on your relationships because I don't know them. But you have to understand that I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me understands that to be with a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made. You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, whose entire life is completely on track and live a life of spoiled princess, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. So, I want to say something to you that you may not yet understand once again, because you are intelligent, but you're not yet wise because you are young. Women are malleable. And when I say they're malleable, people think that women are these individualistic, unique creatures, and they are to a degree, but they are heavily molded by the man they're with. You'll notice if a woman gets with a man and she loves him, she likes the same music he likes, the same
anybody's in that regard. Everybody's malleable in that regard with the people that they're with, people that are around. People are the fucking result of what's around them. That's just
correct. So a woman which may say to you, I'm a unique, special snowflake, I do whatever the fuck I want. If she was in my presence, she wouldn't say that. Now, because women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know what? I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration. If the woman's sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do, that's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever because I am me. So for you to sit here and describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are low IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they'd behave better for me than they would for you. And that is because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality that
you treat and pay for them like they're Lambos that are part.
If any of you are in relationships right now and your woman won't listen to you, it is your fault. It is. You obviously aren't strong enough to have that air about you where someone will respect you. There's no guy out there who has all his homeboys respecting him, goes to work and they respect him at work, goes and does other things at life and people treat him with respect, and then comes home and his girl doesn't treat him with respect. That doesn't happen. If you look around you and your girl isn't respecting you, you'll also notice that other people aren't respecting you. You have a problem being someone who is worthy of respect. That's something you got to work on yourself. I guarantee you, if your girl's not respecting you, you look around, there's other people not respecting you. And the cool thing about respect, the thing that I personally love about respect, is that it is indiscriminate. No one has to like you to respect you. In fact, you'll find people who don't like you will show you respect because there is no other choice. That's what you do to other people, is you leave them with no other choice but to respect you. They don't have to like you. It's great if they do. And if you're a respectable person, you'll find a lot of people do like you. But you'll also find that people who don't like you still respect you.
Yeah. Like, for instance, Warren Buffett, for instance. Yeah, he's super rich. He is definitely among the 1%, right? There's no denying that. There are a lot of people who do not like him for that. And yet,
it's hard not to respect the guy.
So many people who enter the markets, who are into the financial scene, as much as they may not like him, they recognize that he is quite often right. He is correct. And they are forced to respect him for that. They may not like him, but because of his reputation, they are forced to admit, okay, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And that in itself is a sign of respect.
That's true. And that's one of the things I showed her early in our relationship, is that I have this uncanny, superhuman ability to be correct about things. Like, I can read a situation, I can feel a situation, and I know what's going to happen before it happens. Most times about most things to an unbelievable level. And I use that to advance myself through life. You don't have to have that same ability, but if you look at situations close enough, you can read the situation and find the right approaches to take. And being able to read a situation and take the right approaches will get you respect, because people understand that you know what you're talking about, like with Warren Buffett and with Andrew Tate. You can't run around through life not knowing what you're talking about and get respect. You just look like a dumbass. Nobody respects that. So you need to look the part, and you need to also be smart enough to enact things that will get you respect. Yeah. But yeah, like you said about Warren Buffett, that was a great analogy too. because he's not a strong guy. You know, he's not out there roughing people up.
No.
It's his knowledge. And he can be rich, and people hate on rich people all the time.
Yeah.
He's mega rich.
You have to respect his knowledge. You have to respect his intellect.
Exactly.
Because he earned it.
He earned it.
He earned it. He spent the time learning, and he spent the time sharing that information as well. He didn't have to.
Respect.
But he did.
You can get it multiple ways. Find the way that suits you.
Yeah.
Get it done.
At the curb, of course they're going to be like this if you want to go down that argument. So yeah, I guess once more I have to concede the point because you're right. I guess you dated frozen Lambos parked at the curb.
It's not frozen Lambos.
No, I mean that is what you compare. That is your example. You compare the behavior and the potentials of her being stolen to a parked Lambo. Therefore, I have to use that analogy when talking about the girls that you are dating. And you are
right.
I'm sorry. It's not an insult. You made this precedent. I have to use it.
Yeah,
I will take any woman I could date. Any woman you've ever, I don't know who your girlfriends are. I don't have a clue. But any woman you've ever dated, if I was with her, she wouldn't be going to the club without me. That's the bottom line. And that's because who I am. The woman's paradigm, the idea that the female is going to come along and demand to only go club with the girls, etc., etc., etc. That is heavily dependent on the man she's with.
So what makes you above her then? The money, the status, the top G. What is the label or the prerequisite that makes you above her?
It's not about being above. It's about her.
Yes, it is.
It's about her respecting me.
Therefore, you can't go to the club either. You don't go to the club then.
That's bullshit. I go to the club whenever the fuck I want.
Okay, then what makes her unable to go to the club if you can't go to the club if you're equal?
I am responsible for her, and I have authority.
Why are you responsible? What makes you responsible?
I'm responsible for her because I am more competent as an individual. Now, before
how do you know that? All the girls. There's no girl out there that could be above you. You're above everybody else.
Well, let's.
I'll say it. There's no girl out there that's above me, and I'm above everybody else because fuck it. I'll say it. I'm above everybody else. Like, I am intelligent. I am strong. You know, not to get too off subject, but when people get upset about, people doing the gender swap kind of thing going on, and how I won't acknowledge that a female trying to be a man is a man.
Transition.
Yeah. It's not because of the surgery or the pills or any of that. It's because I, in my world, generally don't regard other males as actual men. So there's no way you can pop some pills and go see a doctor and then be what the fuck I am. Because other males can't even be what the fuck I am.
Yeah.
But if you guys watch my channel enough, I will teach you how to, at least be in my domain.
Be a man.
Yes. Because a lot of you motherfuckers need help. And a lot of men out there who are men will still benefit from watching what we share and what I have to say. Because sometimes as a man, you just need a little push to get you back on track. And then sometimes as a male, you need somebody to pick you up, lift you up, and put you and show you where the track is. So I'm gonna help you guys with that for sure. But what he's saying right there is absolutely true. Because once you get to a certain place in your life as a man, you realize you are actually very hard to compete with in your domain, on your level. Even other men have a hard time keeping up with what you are able to do and achieve. So Andrew feeling that way is not unwarranted, especially when he has a lot he can show to back it up, not just say it. There's a lot he can show.
Because I know you're going to try and go down the sexist argument, let's reverse it.
Well, I mean, you bait it. Okay, listen. You have driven this conversation since the beginning. I gave you I gave you the initial roots argument or point, and you are driving yourself there.
Cool.
And so you are drawing a circle around it. I didn't do shit.
All right.
I said, what makes you above her? And you're not giving me an answer.
It's not about being above. It's about having responsibility for.
So what can you share responsibility?
Andrew answered nicer.
Because you can't share responsibility because nothing
nicer
like
than I just did.
There's always, even if it's 49%, 51%.
Okay. Then why you?
Me, because I'm me. This is the exact point. Now let's reverse it. That's what I've been trying to do for the last 30 seconds. There are women out there who are with men, and that man needs her to tell him, stop playing video games, stop smoking weed, go to the gym, get your diet in order. Why don't you ever work? Why ain't you got any money? There are millions of relationships out there. In said scenario, she has responsibility because she's his mother and she tells him what to do, and she has authority. She can tell him not to do shit because she's the fucking boss. That is happened. It's not about a sex thing. It's about human dynamics. In every relationship, someone's in charge, and I'm in charge of my relationships, and I find it irresponsible of me to put her in a scenario where something could happen to her.
But
Carry on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just think what a good point was. I can interject. Since you're making that point, right? The problem with these statements is that you say girls. You always say girls or my girls, right?
Okay.
Intending that it's all of them. What about some girl, right? Who right now, hypothetically, is a multi-trillionaire, right? And is in your kitchen right now, and she comes away right now. The door opens behind you. We see a little glimpse of light right behind you right now, and he says, "Hey, Tate, get the fuck off the computer, drinking his bullshit with his stupid cigar, talking to that fucking devil on your computer, right? That could happen, right? According to you,
it's not about money.
No, it can't happen. Why not?
It can't happen, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you said some girl being a multi-trillionaire. There's plenty of women in the world who may have a lot of money. Yeah. But you have to understand that when you look at life, you have to look at life in the different paradigms. There's many different lenses you look at life through. And when you look at life from a societal perspective, yes, women are equal to men and they should be, fine. But when you look at women from an animalistic perspective, because we are basically animals, they are not equal to us physically. When it comes to something like personal safety, which a club involves a lot of, they can get spiked, a man can try on with them and lose his temper, they can get attacked, whatever can happen. When it comes to physical protection, that is a man's realm. You could be a UFC world champion, female, whatever. I'm too big and I'm too strong. I'll still beat him. So there's no female alive who's going to come into a room and tell me when it comes to things like personal protection, responsibility for her own personal safety, etc., trump my views. That's not true. I'm a man, I have certain domains in which I rule.
Okay, then in this line of argument with the things that you just said, I'm trying to go one by one, so I have to be selective about how I'm doing this, okay? What you're saying, since you brought up the fact that you can get spiked, is that you, Andrew, if you go at the club alone, because the girl is staying at home, she has to stay home, she's boxed in. You go to the club because you're such a fucking warrior, and you get spiked heavier than your drink, you drink it, you will not go unconscious because you're such a fucking lion, aren't you?
You should have your buddy.
It's about the fact that if the woman was with me in the club, or if the woman couldn't protect me, that's not the woman's domain. It's down to me and my team to protect me. The female has absolutely no say when it comes to things like personal safety. She has no
So if you're turning to a woman to protect you, then you're
a team of chicks.
Dumb. I will say that.
A team of chicks.
I will say that. And I know my physical ability.
Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks?
I am capable.
A team of dudes. Cool. You want to send your girl to the club with a bunch of dudes. Cool. Your prerogative.
Wait.
Enjoy.
I missed that.
When you drink it, you will not go unconscious because you're such a fucking lion, aren't you?
It's not about that. It's about the fact that if the woman was with me in the club, or if the woman couldn't protect me, that's not the woman's domain. It's down to me and my team to protect me. The female has absolutely no say when it comes to things like personal safety. She has
so she can't have a team around her. She can't.
A team of chicks? A team of chicks?
What? Yeah, that's not going to work.
To the club
Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks?
Oh, a team of dudes. Cool. You want to send your girl to the club with a bunch of dudes. Cool. Your prerogative.
Jeez, xQc.
Well, I mean, my relationship will be long and fulfilling.
He was like, okay.
When you treat people like this, I mean,
he was like, whoops.
Saying that you go to the club without me, we'll go together?
I'm sorry. X's point on this just falls apart, period.
xQc.
Yeah, like Andrew says, you're going to send your chick to the club with a bunch of guys? You are fucking dumb.
Stupid.
You are dumb. If you are willing to put your girl in the situation, this is exactly why you took the Lambo analogy literally, even though you were told not to. You are willing to sacrifice what is precious to you just so she can have a good time. On the flip side of that, do you actually trust your girlfriends to keep her safe when they go to the club together? What if, let's say it's a group of 7 girls and a group of 7 guys approach them because, hey, they think that they're all single. Do you actually expect that if one of the guys decides to press his case, that those girls with your girlfriend can keep her safe? Fuck no! Like I was saying, I know my physical ability. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I know I am capable of defense. I am capable of attack.
But why would I put her in
Why would I want to do that though? Why would I be turning to myself or my girlfriends for that? Why am I in that situation? That is fucking dumb. He is dumb. He is dumb.
Facts.
Oh, I'm the worst man in the world. Oh, no, don't take your girl to the VIP table with you. Oh, don't do that, Andrew, you misogynist. Send her out there with all those other dudes. I'll tell you what, bro. 87 professional fights, 4-time kickboxing world champion. How about this? I'll protect your chick. Send her to the club with me.
Bro, you can be the biggest lion out there. You can be the most Chad-like bald guy out there, okay? If your drink gets spiked, you're dropping.
That's not the point I'm making. The point
That's
I'm
not the
making
point
is
at all.
it's about the respect that she will have for me for protecting her and my responsibility over her and the authority that comes with it. It'll be about the fact that I don't want my woman in the club without me. I think it's disrespectful, and I don't think that any woman who truly loves a man even wants to do that. Women test boundaries as they should. And I'm about to make another comparison. I'm about to make another comparison that you can use. Use my analogies against me. You said
I have no other material. You said attack. You said approach me by going 1-to-1 and going with specifics. What else is there than the things that you're feeding me that I can use? Am I supposed to speak in hieroglyphs or some shit? What am I supposed to do? I have to.
Where the hell is that coming
So
from?
I compared women to cars, so that makes me a bad man.
All right.
Okay, so case in point. If one of his girls goes to a club with him, the likelihood of her drink getting spiked drops at least 95%. The fact that she is there with a male is deterrent enough to most people.
That's true.
Like, XQC does not understand this. He doesn't understand the power that males can have. Right? Everybody knows that, yes, men are better protectors. They are better fighters. They are better physically suited for a lot of stuff that a club situation can throw a girl's way. But he doesn't understand that because he himself is not capable of it. He is just not.
Exactly. That's very true. A car analogy, because I love to do car analogies, especially when talking about things, even females. But have you guys ever wondered why sometimes you'll be walking down the road, you'll see a line of cars parking, and if you look through the window, you can see the little red light blink on, blink off, blink on, blink off? Why would you tell a thief that the car has an alarm? Wouldn't it be better to keep your alarm hidden so that the thief doesn't know? No, it actually wouldn't be. You have that little light there. The light's there letting everyone know it has an alarm so that no one tries to break in your car, and instead it gets broken into, the car without defense gets broken into.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that having a man next to you, if you're a girl, provides you with lots of security. You know, even, for instance, even if you were walking down the street and there was like 4 guys and they could jump your man and like beat him up or whatever, just having there is a deterrent, so that they can rob somebody else who is alone. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Thieves, people who spike drinks, things like that, they're not looking for confrontation. They're not looking to possibly get injured in the process.
They're looking to be sneaky.
Sneaky, easy prey. And so just having someone there, a man, who looks capable of defending you, putting up a fight, and probably even winning that fight is more than enough to push off cowardly behavior from coming your direction. And if your man is actually capable and something does pop off, you're fine.
I'm about to compare women to children. Oh no, I'm a really bad man. So let's do the same thing, right? So when you have a child, let's say you have a 6 or 7 year old kid, they push the boundaries. They try and see what they can get away with until eventually you come and say, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. If you leave a child completely unchecked, they're going to do a bunch of crazy shit, right? There has to be a point they come up against the wall where the parents say, no, I'm older than you, I'm more responsible than you, I'm wiser than you, I know things you don't know. Do not stick your fingers in the plug socket. That's part of being an adult. It's part of being a parent. It's the same thing as being a man for a woman. If you're a man with a woman, you're likely older, a lot older, so you're wiser by default. You're probably, if you're a successful man, more successful than her. You've seen a lot of things. You've probably seen more violence than she has, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're very, very qualified to come along and say.
Why do you intend that you're probably more successful than she is?
Because you're likely older. I mean, I don't know. There's not many 18-year-old girls who are going to be more successful than a 35-year-old man. Maybe.
That's true.
But
why are you dating somebody a little younger?
Okay, 25.
Men like younger girls.
Men date younger women on average because young women like older men on average.
That's
and they
true.
like that because
That
they
is
respect
true.
older men because they respect the authority.
So-
I don't think any of the things I'm saying here are largely contested. I think everyone agrees that women like.
I mean, not only are they largely contested, they are mostly contested. I think most.
So you're the one voicing.
I mean,
the
most rational beings, except
He's the
for people that are
only
completely
one
delusional and off the tracks, unhinged. The problem that you think.
That's a good point. Everybody else on the panel actually agrees with Andrew for the most part in a lot of these things. You know,
like the last disagreement that we heard was Trainwreck saying, "No, let me correct you. It's not about the club.
Not the club. Yeah, not about.
That was the last thing. That was
it.
Trivial.
Everybody else is like, "Yo, Andrew makes sense."
Yeah.
XQC is actually very much in the minority on this panel.
You're saying that men, it's impossible for them to be pushed into the right directions or helped like a children from women. The girls can't come in and say, stop doing this, stop doing that. They can't do that to you or any other guys because they're women. What the fuck is that?
I'd like to add something that he compared women to children. I think that's somewhat fair for Andrew Tate, for myself, for some of the other rare men out there, and not just men. Like there are other men who are, I would regard as men, but they don't have the caliber of leadership where I would say that they should be training their female. But your goal as a man is to be a strong enough man, an experienced enough man, a knowledgeable enough man, so that you can teach the women who come into your life for long periods of time. Because there should be something to learn from you. And it shouldn't just be your money. You should have insight into the things that happen day to day. You should be someone that she can come to for advice, and that the advice you give actually works. That's really important. You can't just say something and then she tries that shit and it doesn't work. You need to actually know the things you're talking about. That comes with experience, and that comes with actually testing yourself and pushing your own boundaries as a man. I just wanted to lay that out there, some nuggets, some sauce for you.
Let me put it this way. As a female, your man should be the end all be all for you. That's it. End of story.
Absolutely.
However, what I will also add is that as a man in society, you should be able to give something. You should be able to, as people like to say, pay it forward. You should have something of value that you can give to society, whether it's your intellect, whether it's your strength. It doesn't matter. As a man, when you have done something to improve society, then you have done well.
That's true.
But so many people out there just drift through life. They do their 9 to 5. They go, oh yeah, I did a good job. You know, I can retire. Everybody likes me. My boss gave me a nice send off. I had a really good cake. Good for you.
Right.
But did you actually do anything to improve the system? Did you do anything to improve the lives of the people that you encountered during the course of your life, during the course of your journey, your career? Have you done any of that? If you have, then good. And if you haven't, then you need to look at yourself and evaluate and think, what can I do to improve? Because then you're on the right path. But yeah, like I said, though, to reiterate, as a female, your man should be your end all be all. That's it.
If he's not, there's a problem there. And if you're not giving him a chance, then there's a problem with you.
Yep.
So yeah.
That's just so illogical.
Some men need women to guide them.
The
That's
sheer look
fine.
of confusion on
I'm
his
not
face.
one of those men.
Also, now some. Earlier it was all, now it's some. We're going down the list now.
He never did say all.
It was all. I gave a scenario in which many men are mothered by their girlfriends, and I said in said scenario the woman has authority and responsibility, and she can prevent him from going to the club. And then I also said in every single relationship somebody has responsibility and authority. Nothing is 50-50. And then I also said for the same reason I would not allow someone to break into my car, no matter how good the locks are. I will not put my woman in a scenario where people are going to try and take her from me because I find it disrespectful and she shouldn't want to be there. That's what I said.
Pretty much the gist of it.
Pay attention, xQc. Relationship in which you want your girl to go out to the club as much as she wants. That's your prerogative. I'm not coming here telling you not to do it. I will tell you it's going to end badly for you.
Do it.
You may disagree with me, but it will. If you keep letting your girl go to the club, it's going to end badly. Not just because she can get stolen, but because she's not going to respect you as a man. She's going to say, this man lets me go out and get drunk with other men every fucking night. What kind of dude do I have?
That is your definition
Case
of
point.
respect that she owes you is. Not
what is xQc's girl
relationships overall.
Do?
What's
the video that's come out about xQc's girl doing?
Twerking on ice beside it.
Yeah, like, are you fucking joking? You're okay with your girlfriend twerking on another guy? On another guy!
And apparently xQc was in the room and said he was fine with it.
Dumbass!
So that gives you some insight as to where his ideas for protection and exclusivity and what's dear to him and how he should treat that is way off. It's way off.
As in non-existent.
That's actually that's a much better description than way off. It is non-existent.
The problem with this is that you're being obtuse about it, right?
Obtuse?
Relationship, you have to be. Why are you in a relationship in the first place? Why are you with a girl, right? Because you want to. Because you want to be fulfilled. You want to have a relationship, and you want to feel like you're in something, right? You're committed. Why do you date? Tell us. Why do you date?
Absolutely, for the same reason everybody dates, for fulfillment.
Okay, so a lot of points, let's say like a polygon. A lot of things make you fulfilled, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay, polygon.
It makes a nice polygon.
We're up to
right?
2 now.
Correct.
Right. So in my opinion, this is what the foundation of what the relationship is. For me to be fully fulfilled, I want the person I'm with, my partner, when a prerequisite is that they're fulfilled in all these ways. It needs to match. For me to match, it's almost like if she's fulfilled, I'm fulfilled, and we are together like that, right? Yep. And what you're saying is that what fulfills a person, they have to sacrifice and lose out on some of these points for you to feel fulfilled. How does it make any sense whatsoever?
Compromise.
That is completely and utterly illogical, because they have to make compromises and sacrifices that overall will lack fulfillment and will make you feel less fulfilled, and you will end up with a loss overall in this exchange.
Huh? I'm gonna let y'all finish this conversation, but I just want to say I got to dip. Got a flight to catch. Appreciate you guys.
That was silky.
Appreciate you.
You understand it?
I understand your argument. Your argument is that if the woman has to make compromises to be with me, she's not completely fulfilled, which will stop me being completely fulfilled.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I see where he's coming from.
I like that. Thank you.
I will say one thing about xQc. It's nice that he thinks about his partner as well. He just doesn't get the whole picture.
Yeah, he doesn't understand that he has the right to be more assertive, that he has the ability to do so. He's not comfortable.
He doesn't have the ability. He has a right. He doesn't have the ability.
Yeah, like he's too beta to actually understand that.
Beta!
Good Lord. We'll need to insert that clip.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's just like, it's all over his relationship. It's all over his interactions, period.
Yeah.
He is always willing to just be like, oh, I'll just chill. Like, no. There are some things that should be important enough to you that you will assert yourself.
Absolutely.
But he's not. He's never going
Stand for nothing, fall for everything kind of situation. Yeah. Gotta have spine, fellas.
Hey, you wanna do some coke when we go to the club? Sure.
I guess. Like
fucking dumb.
No. You gotta have a spine, fellas. You gotta have a spine. You have to first find your way in life, and then you have to have a spine, because you have a spine about the wrong thing, you can end up being like a neo-Nazi. Those guys have spines. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have spines, but it's about the whole wrong thing. So you have to find yourself, find your center, find your balance, and then you have to have a spine to back your beliefs.
And like the spine and the strength. It doesn't matter. Whatever word. Like, you have to be able to just back it up.
You make compromises to be with her. You don't fuck other women. You do that.
That is not okay. When you talk about the framework of a good, stable, committed relationship, fucking other girls is not a compromise. It's pre-intended.
Depends.
Going to the club with a bunch of dudes is pre-intended. It's all about the parameters you set. If you're going to sit here and say that I don't want her to have to change a single thing about her life because of
the difference,
then you shouldn't have to change anything about your life.
Agreed, Andrew. That would be the perspective, as if I felt like I'm losing something by her going to the club, except I don't. Why? Because she doesn't get anything out of going to the club in those ways. That takes away from my relationships, because I'm number one. You can't replace me. They see me as the perfect fit. They love me, right? I don't lose anything by them going to see number 2s and 3s and 50s and 100s. They have the best at home. I don't lose shit. You intend that when your girls go to the club, you're scared that they're gonna lose something. The other people around at the club are better than you, because you and you're not number one in their heart. You're number 3, and they might get number 2 over there or number 1, and you're scared of that. Why are you scared of that? I don't get that. Makes no sense at all.
We've already discussed the fear argument. We've already discussed about the fact that no matter how good the locks are, I wouldn't put it in a high crime area. We've already discussed this. I understand you're trying to use the fact that trying to paint me as insecure and fearful.
No.
That's incorrect.
Like I said, use
most definitely try.
I want you to dissect my argument. Sorry to cut you off. You're good at letting me cut you off. Okay, I want you to dissect what I said, right? At the beginning or in the middle. And I want you to just counter-argue it. What I'm saying is that I don't make a sacrifice in that relationship by, I want to fuck other girls. Bro, I want to fuck that one girl. I don't lose out on like other girls. I don't want these girls. I want that one. She's my number 1. I'm number 1. I don't lose out.
So what I'll say
I can't fuck other girls that I like.
The fact that xQc doesn't see that there is any compromise in a relationship in order for both individuals to be satisfied is stupid. Because also at the end of the day, I'd like to point out that girls check guys out. Guys check girls out. It is inherent. It is very animalistic. Some people act on those observations. Other people do not. Most guys will try to act on the fact that they have seen a girl that they like and they want to do something with her. I guess X isn't one of them. XQC isn't one of them. Because to him, not being able to screw other girls is not a compromise.
For most guys, whether they do or don't, like they have the fantasy of like, threesomes and things like that. It's very natural.
Or just having fun, having one night stands.
Yeah, it's very natural. Like all throughout history, very important guys have had more than one woman. Biblical times, stuff like that. All throughout history. So if he doesn't have those instincts, that's fine. That's him. But it's natural. So him pretending that it's foreign, I don't know. I mean, you would think that he'd have guy friends that he would already know this, but I'm guessing he doesn't get out much anywhere. That's what I'm
already
guessing.
know that.
Less and love less. Otherwise, I would date these girls or that girl. I'm not losing on that potential. The same way she doesn't lose on you. Does that make sense? It's logical.
Okay, that's
not
fine.
really. But if let me blow your mind. Let's change the quick trajectory. Let me blow your mind. If your woman was truly fulfilled by you and she truly loved you, she wouldn't give a fuck about club. She wouldn't give a fuck.
Oh God,
that's the truth. I don't have to argue with my women about going to the club.
That is so true, bro.
Then she's not allowed to go to the bowling alley then.
They will come to me. They'll come to me and say,
mingle.
"Can I go to the club with all my friends?" And say, "Not without me." She'll say, "Okay, baby," and that's it. It's really not an argument. It's not hard because she's fulfilled in other ways. Now, if she didn't respect me and she wasn't fulfilled in other ways, then of course she'd argue. Then that club would become important. But to her,
then can you? Okay, I understand. Then can she go to laser tag?
Yeah, let's run a laser tag.
I don't give a fuck. It's no problem. But it's not. It's about the scenario.
What if she sees an absolute lion Chad way more than at the club? Some big, tough, muscular guy that looks better than you and is more intellect. Then what?
Good. Then fine.
Then you park your Lambo at in the hood, and your Lambo it's getting taken. Now you say good. So the club is parked there. Laser tag parking is good.
Somebody can bother your Lambo anywhere, but putting it somewhere where it's definitely
laser tag is not invented.
Most likely.
The only reason clubs even exist. The only reason clubs even exist. And I'll tell you why. The basic mechanics of clubs. I know a little bit about it because I own a couple. The basic mechanics of clubs is that you fill them with girls. Girls have no money. Men come, spend ridiculous amounts of money on alcohol, which is massively overpriced to try and attract females. If you get a club with no females in it, no men even go. The whole point of a nightclub is to fuck. So I will not send my woman who is with me to the fucking ground. She can go.
Wow. Okay,
but she ain't gonna go to a place which is specifically designed and set up for her to get intoxicated and famoosed. And not because I think she will get famoosed, because she is too respectful for me, too respectful of me to go to a scenario in which she would be seen. Even, listen, bro, you may disagree with me. I'll tell you something.
Your woman is an extension of you.
Like I said, your argument's false on its face.
Reputation-wise, absolutely.
My woman, mine. She obeys me, right? She has friends and feels fulfilled at doing social activities, and her friends all want to go to the club. It's some girl's birthday, and yes, she's single. That one is vulnerable. It's a vulnerable prey. Okay, that girl. Okay, but they're all going to the club together, right? My girl can't tag along. No, she can't. She cannot partake. She cannot partake in social activities that make her feel fulfilled socially. She can't. She can't because that club is designed for people to fuck, right? So she can't go in there or close to it, right, dude? So many more places are designed to fuck, and more people get fucked out of them. So how does that make sense?
It's your prerogative.
So many places?
Like what?
I'm gonna explain.
It's not a prerogative. I want you to explain that.
Sure, I will explain. Again, no problem. If firstly you just gave a very particular scenario. So now
that's important because if you say all, then it has to be all the specifics.
Hey, my girl
all means.
When I say my girl doesn't go clubbing, I mean she doesn't go clubbing, right? So it means she does not go out all the weekend. She ain't partying anytime she wants. She doesn't go clubbing. Let's imagine there's a particular birthday for a girl, and this girl is a girl I know, and I think she's a pretty good influence, and she's not a bad girl, and they all want to go to the club, and I drop her off and I pick her up. Then that is a scenario in which it possibly could happen.
Then why do you say all? Then if you agree on a scenario, then why do you say all? See, this is something that you always do when you're vocal about your mindset.
Because 99% of the time,
right? Not personally, but just overall hearing that is that when
she's
you
not
say
going to the club to
all,
get turned up every weekend,
right? And you're very, very hard about that when you're alone on camera, right? And you don't get interviewed or kind of argued. It's a monologue, not a dialogue. You say all, I'm such a lion, all. But when you come here and we talk about it, you say, but this scenario, But this one.
He's replying to your goddamn scenario.
Scenarios. Obviously, there are scenarios. Exceptions don't disprove rules. When I say my woman doesn't go clubbing, I mean,
draws
she does not on the
exceptions
weekends
as
be
the
out clubbing.
norm.
She does not message me. I'm at the club tonight. See you tomorrow. She does not do that. You're giving me a very particular set of scenarios. Maybe once if her friend had a birthday. Maybe, yeah, perhaps. What we're talking about is different things, and I'm telling you why. You're trying to disprove me using exceptions in very, very unique scenarios. I'm sitting here saying people are born with 2 eyes, and you're saying no. Some people are born with 1 eye. Yeah, that's true. But in general, when you say how many eyes does someone have, you say 2. Now, if someone asks me how many eyes does someone have, and I say 2, and you were to run along and go, I know someone with 1 eye, that does not make me fucking wrong. So
exactly. Thank you.
Rules, and it doesn't work that way.
Thank you.
He's good,
Any woman who's with me, by and law,
that's exactly what I said in the debate
in general,
with some of our
if
friends.
you were to ask her, does she go clubbing? The answer would be no. I'm Andrew's girl. I don't go to clubs without Andrew. Now, are there very particular scenarios in which perhaps if a movie premiere and she's A-list and she has to go to a club for 15 minutes with security and I pick her up? Yeah, sure. That's not the point we're fucking making. Any woman who's with me doesn't go to the club. And the most important point of all of this is she doesn't want to. I don't have to stop her.
Okay.
Go.
That shows a lot
This is
of
an
respect,
understatement.
actually.
Literally. You could literally win bike races backwards with how fucking hard you're backpedaling. It's insane the way that you revert your main arguments and go down them and start disintegrating them. The way you do I've never seen that before, man. I don't know how you can even justify this. You say never go clubbing, and then there's exceptions. There are exceptions that actually happen.
Why is this purple guy even here on the screen?
Should I ask about guy best friend?
That we went out clubbing, it was for a reason. It had a reason behind it. Add something behind it. Right?
All he's doing is replying to the scenario you posed to him and saying under which circumstances, he'd be okay with his girl going to a club.
I haven't seen
it's a social gathering. There's a lot of people.
Sure.
It's fun. It's energetic. End of story.
Sure. Well, if I had to make a binary decision, if I were to come along and say that no exceptions all are allowed, either she's allowed to go to the club whenever she wants and go to all those birthdays, or never go to the club and miss all those birthdays, and she would never go to the club and she would never go to a single fucking birthday and she would not complain. My women do not want to go to the club without me. This is being discussed as if I have to stop them. It's just, these are the parameters for being with me. You don't go to the club without me. Got it. Cool. Done. It's not easy.
All right, yo, X and Tate, listen, can we get to this next topic? The having a girl, having a guy best friend.
I don't even have a whole lot to say about that one.